Guys, welcome to Built Different. We're gonna do something different today. I'm gonna talk to you about mindset, approach, intensity, and I'm gonna go over a couple different exercises with you, and I'm gonna share with you what I learned later in life that I wish I knew when I was 25 or 30 years old that I know now as it relates to approach and intensity associated with working out. And when I talk about approach, I talk about that mind-muscle connection. That mind-muscle connection for purposes of intensity and for purposes of efficiency require us to go to a place, a special place, and in this place is where we really connect with the exercise that we're doing and how we approach things. And when I was younger, I didn't know about this, guys. And as I got older, I figured out that it's not about the heavy weights. It's not about doing, 10 different exercises that a famous bodybuilder is doing. It's about what works for me as an older guy. So what works for you guys as older guys as well, you have to be mindful of as part of your approach. I give you guys suggestions, I give you guys ideas, pillars, thoughts, and you need to apply them and try them out when you're working out. So let's go over something right away. Let's talk about concentration curls, right? Concentration curls for the bicep. Think about the term itself, concentration curl. So that in and of itself tells you it's an exercise in which you're going to be focusing on a movement associated with your bicep, right? So when you're working out, and hopefully you guys either have dumbbells at home or in the garage, or you have a place to go, a quiet place to go. If you're going to a commercial gym, find a quiet place, go in a corner by yourself, get the weights that you need to approach this the right way. And ego is out of the room. We don't talk about ego. Ego is not allowed in the room when we approach things because we need a clear mindset as we're working out so we're efficient with the exercise that we're doing. Part of the challenge too with you guys that you're gonna have to remember is that we don't metabolize like we used to. So as we get older as well, for me, I like to work my sets quicker. So I don't like to mill around, sit around, and bullshit with other people when I'm doing my exercises. I usually take anywhere between 45 seconds, if that, to a minute between sets as I do my giant sets or superset, and I love to superset. Part of the reason I do that is my mind-muscle connection, and the other reason is because I want to get my heart going a certain way, and I also have limited energy. So I want to be focused on an efficient approach when I go after those weights and do what I need to do. And I'm not going super heavy, we talk about that as well. I'm going 12 to 16 reps per set in order to do my exercise. So now, let's go back to concentration curls. And I'm gonna grab a weight, lightweight, 10 pounds, and I'm gonna share with you guys my mindset and approach when I grab this weight. Now, usually I'm warmed up a little bit with regard to the weight, 5 pounds or whatever, just to get my arms loose, get myself the blood flowing. But when I think about concentration curls in and of itself and my approach to it, I'm always focusing on the muscle that I wanna work. And from a mentality perspective, I've already figured out I'm putting myself in a corner and I'm gonna work out by myself. Usually we'll have my headphones in and I'm in a quiet place. My phone is in my bag. I'm not bothered by my phone and I'm working my exercise. And in many instances, I hope I'm really not approachable. If I'm in a commercial gym, that somebody's not gonna approach me because I'm so intense. And that intensity that you develop over time will kick in more and more as you get used to your flow of how you want to approach things with that mind-muscle connection. So for this exercise, I know I want my elbow back. I know I want to get myself in the right position for success as I'm doing this particular exercise because I'm focusing on my bicep and I'm focusing on keeping that wrist tight and I'm not moving my wrist up and I'm not bouncing around doing heavy weight. I'm focusing on moving that weight, which is a reasonable weight for me, and I know I can do it 12 to 16 times. Now, that is my floor. That's not my ceiling. My ceiling could be more. I like volume. I like to do volume. I believe that we as older guys benefit more from volume than we do going super heavy. Because if you're going heavy, too heavy, you're gonna end up hurting yourself. From a volume perspective, hitting the numbers of, say, 15 to 20, depending upon the exercise that you're doing, I think you could put yourself in a good place, get that pump that you want, get that feeling for that atrophy, and work that mind-muscle connection. So again, when I'm doing my bicep curl, my concentration curl, I am concentrating on the actual movement for the mind-muscle connection and doing that exercise. And then the same thing on the other side. I'm focusing on my arm, doing that connection with my mind, clarity, just solely focused on working my arm. Sometimes if I have a mirror, in this instance, I got a mirror right in front of me, I can make sure that my form is correct as I'm doing this exercise. What I'll also do sometimes when I'm in the zone, and you guys may try this out, you may have done it on your own subconsciously, you don't even realize it, is that sometimes I'll play around. And what I mean by that is that sometimes I'll do something different with my wrist. Generally speaking, when I do a concentration curl, I'll keep my wrist pretty strong in this position, just tight like that and not move it around. Other times, I'll see what'll happen if I come up and twist, and then I'll feel it a little more on the outside of my bicep. So that may be an approach I take on this particular day of many days in which I'm gonna do a concentration curl, and then I can move it in and out. That approach and that mind shift puts you in a better place, but you can't get there until you connect to the weight, until you connect to the exercise that you're doing with clarity and focus. That's the place you guys gotta get in. Wherever you are, you gotta get into that place to essentially get the most out of that particular exercise at that particular time. And these concepts that I go over with you guys, mind-muscle connection, intensity, volume over the heaviness of the weight, and that clarity and the lack of distractions. Those things, when I was a young guy, I didn't know about all that stuff. I'd be bullshitting with different guys in the gym, socializing, that type of stuff. I'm older now, I want to get in, get my workout done, and get out. And even in my gym in my office, I want to get my workout done and I want to get out. I have a certain amount of time that I've allotted for myself to do this. It's non-negotiable with regard to that time. I'm going to do it, but I want to be as efficient as possible when I do that particular exercise. And that's what I talk about regarding these pillars of mind-muscle connection. And that's where you guys need to go. Same thing holds true for any exercise you're going to do. So we went over the biceps, right? We went over the concentration curl. I'm gonna do it now on the incline press and show you guys what I mean on the incline press as well. So I got the incline set up here, and I think I'll move it up a little bit. We can see it out of this camera too. My guy's done a pretty good job with it, so we'll keep it here. So with the incline press, again, if you're warmed up wherever you are, I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna be working my chest, right? I'm gonna be working what area of my chest. And right away, when I say I'm doing chest, I think to myself with the exercise, what area of my chest do I wanna work? And that's gonna be predicated on this bad boy, right? Our favorite friend, our incline press, our incline bench. And we're gonna decide how we're going to approach things. And for me, depending upon how I'm feeling that day, how strong I may feel or physiological where I am, I may decide to alter things around. So right now, as I get down in this position to do the incline press, I'm focusing on my chest muscle and I'm focusing on connecting. And I need to connect with the weight and connect with the muscle as I'm doing this exercise and really feel it. And many times I will look in the mirror and make sure that my form is good as I'm doing this exercise. And you'll feel yourself slotted in that position that you want to get yourself in when you're doing this exercise. Again, for me, it's not putting my arms back like this, my elbows back. It's being on an angle where I can get the weight up and down. And then if I'm going to move to a fly movement, again, I'm going to want to feel that connection on my chest as I'm doing this particular exercise. And the thing I see with guys, especially younger guys, and probably when I was a younger guy as well, is I see just, trying to get the weights up, moving the weights as heavy as you can, back and forth, 4 or 5 kids surrounding the other guy trying to do the workout, or the older guy who's lumbering through lifting 60, 70, 80-pound dumbbells, just like trying to get the weight up like this. How the hell, if you're focusing like this on getting that weight up, how the hell are you able to connect from a mental perspective to the area in which you're trying to work out on? You're not. What's happening is you're so focused on getting that weight up, you're not even thinking about your chest. You're focusing on getting that weight up and not getting hurt as you're moving it up there. And then what happens too, if you're an older guy and if you got hurt before, that's when the imposter syndrome kicks in on you and you're like, holy shit, I hope I don't get hurt as I'm doing this, or what's that pain I may feel? I mean, it's a tumbling effect. It's a snowball effect that you can get yourself in a funk on this. That's why, from a clarity perspective, from the perspective of the connection that I talk about, and I'm telling you, this is not something that is easily achievable. It takes a thoughtful approach in order to get to, but once you get there, you're gonna have so much more clarity, and you're gonna have so many better gains, so much more in your gains in working out than when you didn't have this connection. And that's why I implore you guys to take the time to truly understand this mind-muscle connection and the approach when we're working out and exercising. This isn't some blah blah, esoteric bullshit stuff that we're talking about here. This makes sense. This, I'm telling you, and you guys who've DM'd me and shared with me your stories, when you've shifted to this type of exercise and this type of approach, you've seen the difference. And I'm telling you personally the difference as well with me over the years. Again, when I was, in my 20s and my 30s, I didn't approach lifting this way. I approached things like, I'm gonna move that weight. We're gonna put, how many sets am I gonna get now? How am I gonna move up the rack? Am I gonna move up the rack? That's all I thought about. I didn't think about the actual stimulus to the area in which I'm focusing on to work out. But this is what it's all about. It's about that connection that we have when we're exercising and we're training a particular muscle. So for me, on this incline press, I am focused solely on the area in question that I want to work out on. And if I'm not feeling it here, if I'm not feeling it at this particular level, there's no law that says it's got to stay here. I take it and maybe I move it up. Maybe I move it down a little bit more. The bottom line is that you need to be engaged and in tune with your body as you're doing the exercise. Sometimes I'll get on a machine or I'll get on a bench to do an exercise and I want to work my chest, and I'll get down here and I'll start doing this, and for whatever reason I'd say to myself, you know what? This is hitting my upper a little too much, and I don't want to go there because maybe I did shoulders the other day. Of course you're going to engage your delts when you do a little bit of incline, but you really want, I want to really focus on my chest a little bit lower. So I'll have to move it down. Make that adjustment. That's the connection. That's what you're trying to do. Don't just check off a box and do a set. Check off a box and do another set. Check off a box and do another set. You're going to get so much more out of the intensity of your workout if you approach it along the lines of having that clarity and efficient bullseye laser focus on the quality of the set that you're doing for each exercise, with the proper range of motion, with the proper amount of weight, with the proper volume. And again, I'm passionate about this because that efficiency, once you're able to achieve that and get into that zone, you'll be able to apply that to other exercises as well, and your whole approach to working out will be different. And I'm hopeful that it will engage you even more as we journey through our longevity quest to, ensure how much fun you're going to be having as you continue on with your discipline and your approach and your mindset as you do these exercises. Same thing that holds true with regard to legs, right? I talk to you guys about legs all the time. And I posted a couple reels on legs. I did some videos on legs, and I am such a firm believer in working out these trunks, working out our legs. And so many older guys, because of life, right? We're all built different, but so many older guys don't work out their legs, or they work out their legs incorrectly. Some of you are stuck in the 80s, stuck in your mindset in the past of doing heavy leg presses. Some of you are still doing squats, and there's always outliers. That's the other thing I get. I get a lot now on the DMs, especially as we grow the channel and as our platform grows. I get these guys that go on, I've been doing squats since I'm 20, I'm 75 right now, and I'll continue to do squats, and I've never hurt myself. Well, God bless, that's great. That's great for you. But the odds are against men in general or women, anybody for that matter, doing squats at 70, 75, the same amount of weight that you did when you were younger. It's just inevitable. That's life. Father Time wins, period. The bottom line to all that is, again, a proper mindset and approach, but don't shy away from doing legs because you're weaker or because you're hurt. I mean, obviously, if you're at a place where you can't do it from a medical perspective, but if you're achy or you feel like you don't want to do it, or you don't get the gains, or you don't have the connection, that's where you got to shift that mindset and apply what I'm talking about regarding the mind-muscle connection to the legs. That's why I share with you guys different types of dumbbell exercises for the legs. That simple, goblet squat, going down and up, doing it without any weights. Who would have thought that a guy like me, guys like you, would be doing just body weight exercises like this and actually feeling that engagement and that contraction without any weight? Most of the time it was always, right, we'd put our barbell on the back and we'd go down, do our exercise, or we'd throw 4 or 5 plates on the leg press and we try to press it out. Now I'm getting more, and you guys will get more connection doing a goblet squat and doing this type of exercise, weight or no weight, like this or like this, however you want, doing this type of exercise because you are focusing on your muscle that you want to work, and you've applied what I've talked about, these pillars of focus, mind-muscle connection, proper volume, not heavy weights, intensity, and you're able to achieve and go to a place that you weren't able to go to when you were younger. You weren't able to go to because you didn't appreciate what you were doing. You didn't appreciate the connection. And that's part of life. That's what happens as we get older. And this is another reason why, again, I share with you guys this approach. For you guys who have never worked out before, you have a blank slate. So it's even easier for you to come in and work this pillar type approach, because you don't have this preconceived idea that, oh, I should be lifting X amount of weight because that's what I used to do when I was younger. No, this approach for you guys should be even easier because you're going to methodically start out slow and work your way up and start to feel a muscle that you didn't necessarily feel before. And you guys are going to get sore. You're going to be shocked. Like, for example, with the goblet squats, if you haven't done them already, you're going to be shocked with the protocols that I do with legs, how sore you get doing these simple exercises. I believe in part with the mind-muscle connection and our approach that we have so much more efficiency in how we approach things, that we are making tremendous gains doing it that way than by doing it the old way. This muscle here in our brain and our head, we have the ability to do so much as it connects to our body. And these concepts, as you can tell, guys, I am so passionate about, because it transcends more than just a muscle. It takes you to a place from a clarity perspective and from an accomplishment perspective where you're feeling so much better that you're steering your own ship, because you are accomplishing something from a mentality perspective that nobody can take away from you, and that you've approached it and done it on your own, and you recognize physically, and it's going to show up with your longevity, that you're taking care of yourself in a healthy manner. And that discipline that you're achieving time in and time out, because you're going to a place in which, again, you're in a zone, you're doing the exercise, you're in a place that many people can't get to. And once you get to that place, that's what becomes intoxicating. Getting to that place of working out in that zone with that mind-muscle connection. And once you get there and stay there during the term of your exercises, you're going to have such a sense of accomplishment. And then you're going to want to go back there again and do it again. And there may be days where you'll have a difficult time getting there for whatever reason. You may have, certain things going on in your life, but you will sooner than later learn how to get there quicker, because your approach has become more consistent as you go through these pillars and as you work through the mind-muscle connection and these things we talk about on Built Different. All right, guys, obviously this is a completely different approach. I know you guys love my workout videos. I'll give you a lot more of those videos, but I need some feedback from you on this particular discussion point. I go over this a lot in the school community that we've put together. Obviously, I'm also going to be doing some webinars on this concept. There's a lot more to working out, guys, than just physically moving a weight, and you know that. And the fact that we're built different, right? And I'm going to go over it one more time with you guys, right? We're built different mentally, right? We're older guys who will lean into exercise, lean into working out, lean into longevity, lean into being the best version of ourselves. And we're far and few in between. There's not many of us out there, but we found each other and our movement is growing and we're going to support each other. But we're built different than the majority of people who have given up at our age. We're also built different, and then physically, our shoulders, our knees, our legs, we've got injuries, we've got, journeys of life that we've gone through, so we have to approach things differently. Physiologically, we're all different. So we have to approach working out differently. We're not a widget to be told how to do a specific exercise from point A to point B, and that's it. No, we have to approach things differently because we know we're built different. And that's what the movement's all about. That's what I'm passionate about. That's why I started this channel. That's why I'm going to continue on and sharing this entire passion project, whatever you want to call it, with as many people as possible. We're all over the world now. I've got people, if you look at the map of school, if you're in the community, you'll see us across the pond, all over the world. People are spread out who believe in this, who want to be part of this community and this brotherhood as we continue to grow. And I'm so humbled. I tell you guys this all the time by the fact that this is happening, but it's out there and there's a need for it. And by adopting this thought process and adopting the manner in which we recognize that we're built different, we're going to succeed, and we got a lot more living to do, and our longevity and quality of life is going to be so much better. Guys, like, subscribe, follow, DM me. I'm here for you guys. Remember, we're built different.